We are on line 3 of Just So in the North. So lines 1 and 2 we've worked really hard on in the last couple days. And here's line 3. We're going to start the same way we have before. So I want you to look at your music and play with me slowly. Starting right in the middle of our bow, we'll play through our third line. So this is right after our repeat, right? So we'll play 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so before we try this from memory, let's look at a couple of things. This line is special because, well, we have these beautiful high notes on our E string, right? Sounds so pretty up there. But, as always, we have to make sure that our hand is in the absolute best position to reach those notes. So our hand needs to be soft and in no pancake hand. And our wrist shouldn't be jutted out either. Just soft and up and down. Now I want you to think, what are these notes? Those two. The first one is our first note that appears above the staff, right? So the very top note of our staff is a line, and that's F sharp. And this is the first note right above that, which would be in a space because they always alternate. So what note always comes after F or F sharp? G, right? G. And then the next note is, if you look at it, it's also going to be in a space, right? There's a line underneath it, but there's not a line going directly through it. So that means we have to have at least one note in between the two that we just played, which you'll also notice because you play 2, 4, and we skip our third finger. So if you go 2, imagine what 3 would be without playing it. So what comes right after G? Remember, we start at the beginning of the musical alphabet after G, so we go back to A, but we're not going to play A. We're going up one more to B, right? And then we climb our way down, okay? So let's just work on this measure. See if you can get your hand in a perfect position. Make sure your posture is really excellent, and I want you to be listening for the clarity of those notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and staccato, staccato, legato. Let's just do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, now moving on to the next measure. It follows this lovely pattern, right? So this time we start with our open E, and then we play our G again. And then those notes, I know you can read them very easily because everyone in our class can read those notes beautifully. So we'll play. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, let's just combine those two measures together once. So we'll start back at. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so now our rhythm changes pretty much for the first time in the piece. We have, right? Quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, eighth, eighth. So we have to be quicker about switching between our staccato and our legato, staccato and legato. Okay, and once again, in order to reach our fourth fingers, we need to check our hand position. So maybe roll out that wrist and start right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Good. And if you find yourself playing an open E, I want you to just double check that you're playing a 4th finger. 4, 2, 1, 3, 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Good. Now we can go on to this. So our quarter, eighth pattern continues, and then we have our first slur. So we have to make that as beautiful and connected as we can. Right? So once again, this is an exercise of 4th fingers. 4, 2, 1, open. Play that with me. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay? So, I feel like we're ready to put this line back together now that we've taken it all apart. But let's do it with our music one more time, and then we'll play from memory. So, with your music from the beginning of line 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay? Now make sure you put that music away, and let's try this line from memory. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, wonderful. Now, on your own, you can practice lines 1, 2, and 3 together, although we'll be doing that together soon as well. But you might be eager to put them together, so go for it.